Shalom. This is the continuation of this lesson, right? Because the device died, right? So going back into it, what I was talking about. We're talking about Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Right? So going to Ezekiel 35 at the top, it says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. And Mount Seir is a representation of the Edomites, because that's where they dwell. And prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I want to get a precept real quick, because that's a threat from the Most High. Right? So what's it say? It says 2nd Ezra 16 and 11, the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. Right? So it says, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High Power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Right? So going back to Isaiah 47 and now 7, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Right? Because that's going into this right here. This is Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their house shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Right? So, 8, Isaiah 47 and 8, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Right? Because that's clear if you ever known anything that's talking about America. Because this is Revelation 18 verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And skipping down to 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And thou, Isaiah 47 and 7, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that say in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee. In their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Right? That's why we're going into this lesson, because this is important. Because America's going to be judged for these things. Right? 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be judged for these things. 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Right? And that's going straight off. Because this is Sirach 23:19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times, 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So that's going straight off. The Most High sees you through his angels. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge. It hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. Right. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Right? So the things that you was doing, let those things protect you. Right? And see what happens. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before. You're not going to be able to get comfortable. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save thee. So none of these nations that's waxing rich with the abundance of her delicacies, talked about in Revelation 18, they're not going to help. Because what? America is has the strongest military. Everybody knows that. They have the so when they see America go down, there's no hope for them. Right? And they're going to be teed off with America already. Right. So let's go on right here. I'm going to start Psalms 34:11. Come, ye children, hearken unto me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. What man is he that desireth life, and loveth many days, that he may see good? Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking guile. Depart from evil, and do good. Seek peace, and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. He keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. Evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate. The Lord redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. So, us being the men of the Lord, right? Which, if we was the men of the Lord now, I mean, if we end up being those men that saved on the chariots, then we've been the men of the Lord. Because the prophets come back being prophets, right? You can't just be, you can't just call yourself a prophet. Right? This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Right? And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So us being under this yoke, and if we endure to the end, we're gonna be those true prophets. We're gonna be those prophets from before, and we're gonna be redeemed from this destruction, right? But let me end it off with a couple more scriptures. Oh yeah. Let me not lose that one though. Okay. This is Obadiah 1 verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. That's how you know, because Caucasian means cave dweller, right? Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right? Now I'm going to skip to 6. It says, or no, I'm going to keep going. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How were his hidden things sought up? Like these, the spiritual wickedness in high places.